Once the Paris Peace Accords were signed in December of '72, that ended the American direct involvement in Vietnam.
But to preserve peace with honor, Nixon and Kissinger decided to defend the anti-communist regime in Cambodia. It was to be a secret mission, airstrikes against communist forces directed by the American embassy in Phnom Penh.
It made free the American Air Force. They could not bomb in Laos, they could not bomb in Vietnam, so that began the incredible bombing of Cambodia. And this is when the number of bombs dropped, equaled the amount of bombs dropped on Japan during World War II.
Elizabeth Becker covered the war in Cambodia from 1972 to 1974.
We would be able to hear the conversation between the pilot, the American pilot in the air, and the American embassy, which was illegally directing the airstrikes. We couldn't understand why there were so many civilian casualties in this war. Why were they hitting all these civilians in villages? It was every nightmare of how you fight a war.
From 1969 to 1973, more than 500,000 Cambodians died. By 1974, the bombing had disrupted the nation's agricultural system and a famine ensued. Over 2 million refugees poured into overcrowded cities.
American policy in those years towards Cambodia helped create the conditions, perhaps the only conditions, in which the Khmer Rouge came to power.
The Khmer Rouge drew strength from the chaos of the country. When they seized power in 1975, they forced populations of entire cities back to the countryside. Then they began a policy of exterminating their enemies in execution grounds that came to be known as killing fields. By 1979, another 3 million Cambodians had lost their lives.
First memory of the Cambodians coming to Lowell was in the 1980s. Others had come earlier, some Vietnamese, but it was in 1986, 87 that it seemed like every day dozens of Cambodians came. And many of them were coming from refugee camps, but it seemed like most of them had settled first in other parts of the country, Oregon, Texas, Colorado, and they came here. It was mostly because Massachusetts, the economy was booming. It was known as the Massachusetts Miracle, and the rest of the country was struggling. And so people came where there were jobs and where the earlier immigrants had been very successful. More importantly, Lowell is a city of immigrants. My great-grandparents all came from Ireland. And I think you could stop anybody on the street in Lowell and they're the descendant of somebody that came from another country. And so when I see somebody new coming to Lowell today, I always try to treat them the way I hope somebody treated my great-grandparents when they first came here. And I think most people in Lowell feel that way, and I think that's why the reception went pretty smoothly.
My dad chose to come to Lowell because it's the second largest Cambodian population, and we don't have any family, we don't know anybody, so it's the most comfortable place to be because there are markets with ingredients that we use to cook, and there's a lot of Khmer people to speak with and connect with.
My family came to Lowell in 1984. We landed in America in 1982 in Duluth, Minnesota. My late father decided to move to Lowell because of the influx of family members and refugees that all moved to Lowell, Massachusetts. So, of course, CMAA was doing quite a bit to help the Cambodian community, the refugees back then.
Back in the 1980s and early 90s, CMAA was critically important because refugees coming out of camps in the Philippines and Thailand, arriving here in the Northeast, it was a tremendous transition that they had to go through, and CMAA really eased the way for them. But I think just as importantly, the CMAA was a great help to the city because city government didn't have any Cambodian speakers on staff and weren't really, nobody was aware of the experience of the Cambodian refugees. And so the CMA was a critically important go-between between the people coming here and the people who are already here.
Through our parents, our grandparents went through a lot to bring us here. If you think about the war and what some of them had to experience, had to endure, whether it was a couple months, couple of years, they've gone through a lot. And they were able to come to a new country without understanding the language, the cultural norms here, without having any work experience, but being able to not only build a life for themselves, but build a community in the city of Lowell. And so I would want the youth to understand that, and so then strive to be better, meaning going beyond high school education, having post-secondary degrees, whether it's a bachelor's, a master's, and then striving to not only just own their businesses, but enter the corporate world. So it's being able to do more than our parents could so that we can make them proud, but at the same time, it's not to forget our roots and where we come from. It's to hold on to our culture while we're striving to do better, to be successful in this country.
The CMA provides a very important service to the community, a center that provides educations and connect people to resource, a point of contact for the city of Lowell, a cultural preservation center, a great partner for business and nonprofit organizations, a congregation center for social events. Most importantly, CMA is a trusted organization for the Cambodian community. I am very grateful for the opportunity to work for the CMA with people that are very passionate and kind in giving back to the Cambodian community.
The CMAA provides a variety of programs. I think the first couple of programs we have are in partnership with other nonprofits in the area. For the first one, in partnership with the Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership, we have first-time home buyers classes here. We offer and provide programs, that program for the community every other month, and it's taught in English and in Khmer. The other programs we have here is the ESOL classes, which is in partnership with the Lowell Adult Ed. And that class is to teach Khmer folks how to speak English, but not just Khmer folks, also different community members as well. We also have a developing program, which is called the Young Professionals Program. This program teams up college students with different mentors from the community, nonprofit leaders, small business leaders, basically providing resources for college students to be prepared to work in the real world. We also have Khmer literacy classes on the weekends, and we are also developing health and financial literacy classes. But the one thing I really want CMA to really jump onto is civic engagement, and I think that that's a great opportunity to really get the younger generation involved.
We have a great team. First, we have a great board that comprised of different people from different backgrounds who are hardworking. We're not afraid to ask each other questions. We're not afraid to push each other, and in turn, we inspire each other to be better people. Our board members are dedicated, and they all come from different backgrounds, including banking, consulting, and higher education.
I always believe that what makes a team super successful is that everybody is super engaged and passionate about the mission and the community and what they're working for. And for me, I really believe that everybody has their own set of skills. And if we're able to recognize those set of skills and utilize it and kind of like refine it and help them make it shine, I think as a team, everybody will play a part. And I think that it will make the organization rise. Since being here the last 5 months, I really believe in a lot of like positive energy and motivating and shaking hands and checking up on each other. I honestly think that to make a team strong is to really make a family out of it. And right now I feel like CMA has a very close-knit family that that we're always helping each other out. We always check up on each other. And I think that once you have that family, the community is able to sense and feel that, and so they can see that the CMA is not just about the work that they do, but they also care internally about each other, and that really shows and it really kind of highlights the positive messages that we're trying to portray into the community.
I wanted to come back and volunteer my time because there was a period of my life where I needed to prove to myself and to others that I can be successful. And so I left Lowell in the sense that I took an opportunity in Boston. So for the past 10 years, I've been very involved with Boston, giving back in that city. And I realized that I need to dedicate my time to my own city where I grew up at. And so I'm at a place where I've learned a lot, I've experienced some things, so I want to be able to share that and get back to the community and also to an organization that was a part of my life at a very early age.
Now is an exciting time for CMAA and the Cambodian community. I'm very proud and excited to be a part of such an important organization during one of its most important years in history. In the past 30 years, we've accomplished a lot. There's still work to be done, but we can't do it alone. We need to continue to work together.
Well, CMAA has a critically important role to play right now, and I think there's three ways. One is to provide services for those who do come here, who are newcomers. The other one is, I think, encourage Cambodians to become more active in the political process, particularly by voting, because that's how you make change and you make your community better, is by participating in the community. And I think the third way is by encouraging young people to get involved, to become leaders. And the way you do that is create positive role models so that the next generation coming up sees, well, if somebody else has done it, I can do it too. And through that, you develop the leaders of the community, whether it be in politics or business or the professions like law or medicine. So I think that's three ways that the CMAA is vital to the Cambodian community and to the city of Lowell going forward.
I do see that going forward, for me personally, I would like to see CMAA take more of an initiative connection with our youth. I really believe that that is going to be a very important component, and I will challenge our youth and our entire community to step up and to get involved in our government, because this is what democracy is all about. Whether it's becoming your city councillor or a school committee member, we need to do that. We need to have the working citizen involved in the community.
Just want to say happy 30th anniversary, Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association. It's been an honor to be a part of your organization the past 2 years, and I look forward to being a part of the growth for the next 30 years to come.
Happy anniversary.
I would like to congratulate the CMA on their 30th anniversary.
Congratulations of 30 years of services. Happy 30th anniversary to CMAA.
I want to congratulate CMAA on a milestone, which is the 30th anniversary of the CMAA. I congratulate everyone, and to all of the board members and to all of the many volunteers that's
Happy 30th anniversary, CMAA.
Say CMAA, congratulations, Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association of Greater Lowell. 30 years has been a very long time, and I appreciate the services that you provided me 13 years ago, and I'm really happy to be back here and kind of coming back to put my foot on the ground and to really help CMA grow and to bring it to where the community and the people want it to be. So happy 30th anniversary.